Hello, everybody. Throughout my years as a professional wrestling fan, I have encountered some wrestling fans who either seem to have no life, have too much time on their hands, or have nothing better to do with their time. Case in point, at WrestleMania 10, there was a nut job right in front of me. He was favoring all the heels. He called Bret Hart a Canadian greaseball. He wanted Bam Bam Bigelow to squash Dink. He and another guy were singing the Quebecers' entrance music. When the crowd was chanting USA at the late Yokozuna, he's yelling Japan. And when Yokozuna was going for the Banzai drop against Bret Hart, the guy screams, "Come on, Yoko! Give him the ass smash!" Well, to his credit, just as Razor Ramon was entering the ring for the historic ladder match with Shawn Michaels, he called one of the vendors over because I wanted to buy one of those wrestling ice cream bars. Okay. Another incident, actually, 2 years later, at a house show in Madison Square Garden held on St. Patrick's Day in 1996, there was this one. My brother and I had just bought. This was my brother's first time at the Garden for a show, by the way. There was this Spanish guy. I don't know who he was talking to, and apparently this was his first show in like a few years, because he says, "I remember the last time I was here, and during intermission they announced that Andre the Giant died. Everybody was crying. I was like, oh, that was mine, with the big ass." He remembers Andre the Giant for having a big ass. That's sad. Then, May of 1997 at a house show in Madison Square Garden, every time the Nation of Domination music was playing, there was this one chick sitting a few rows above me doing the Cabbage Patch dance. Okay, SummerSlam 1998, I'm about to go inside of Madison Square Garden for the show, and there's somebody out there holding up a sign that said, "Friends don't let friends watch WCW." I applauded the guy before I went inside for the show. At USA Pro Wrestling in August of 2003, I can't remember everything, folks. I even wrote most of the stuff down that I'm telling you now. August of 2003, during a match between D'Lo Brown and Raven, there were guys behind me chanting, "Down with the Brown." They were also chanting, "Kill the Cracker," which prompted Wayne, the convenience store guy, who is NYWC owner Shane, to scream, "Shut up!" at them. At a Jersey All Pro Wrestling event in October of 2004, during a matchup between Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, people sitting ringside, they're chanting, "Fuck the bleachers." And then people in the bleachers are chanting, "Fuck the front seats." And then somebody in the front row screams, "Watch the match!" Then, December 2004 at Jersey All Pro Wrestling, right after being defeated by Roderick Strong, Super Dragon is on the receiving end of a tongue lashing from a fan sitting right across the room from me. Dragon, he steps over the rail, and I thought Dragon was going to punch this guy out, and, cooler heads did prevail as Dragon did walk away. June 2005 at an NYWC show in Lindenhurst, this one guy who I never got his name, he's taller than I am, he said he wanted to start training to be a wrestler. And I forgot which one of the heels got under his skin, and this big dude ripped his shirt off. After the show had ended and we're outside the building, I asked him, "Why did you do that for?" He says, "Oh, he pissed me off." I didn't see that guy again until a few weeks later at another show they did in Deer Park, and then didn't see him again for nearly a year, but maybe by that point he forgot about me. In August 2005 at an NYWC show, a match between Jerry Lynn and Rob Echoes, who we know as Robert Stone in NXT. During the match, he's yelling for Jerry to get up, and Jerry grabs Rob's tights to the point where, as Jerry's trying to get up, he's grabbing Rob's tights, and this one chick's in front of me, so she's screaming, "Oh my God!" Because I don't know, we almost saw Echoes' package exposed. The following month, September 2005, NYWC had a show. The only time they had Team 3D appearing. There was a group of fans sitting by Freddie Kane. Freddie, for those who don't know, was about as tall as King Mega, and he would bring this white drawing board with him. And there were people in the bleachers behind the floor seats. I think they were telling everybody to sit down. And this one girl, she wrote on the whiteboard, "Next time, get better seats." And one of the people sitting ringside, they gave those people a sight for the bird watch that said, "Fuck you." December 2005, at an NYWC event, during a match between Jerry Lynn and Dickie Rodds, somebody was heckling to Jerry, "Oh, this is why you couldn't beat Rob Van Dam." And that moron forgot that Jerry defeated Rob Van Dam at ECW's Hardcore Heaven 2000 pay-per-view. Shows what he knows. All right. July 2006, at an NYWC event, Maverick, who we know as Tony Nese, took on Jamie Van Leemer. Van Leemer was victorious, and there were guys cheering the fact that Van Leemer won. And one particular fan screams to the Van Leemer lovers, "Go back there and suck his dick!" I mean, come on, they can't go behind the curtain and do that. And besides, the guy who told them to do that, he actually wants to watch. All right, September of 2006, the WWE was in Madison Square Garden, and it was September 11th of all days. Lillian Garcia asked the crowd for a moment of silence, and as everybody in the room's getting quiet, some little kid, who knows how old he is now, yelled "peanut butter." If that wasn't bad enough, some people in the crowd actually laughed, finding it funny. After Lillian thanked the crowd for the moment of silence, I said to my longtime friend Randy Corelli, "Bunch of dumb motherfuckers." And in response, Randy said, "Some people got no respect." July 2008, at Ace Pro Wrestling in Union City, New Jersey, after being defeated by Jay Lethal, Mo Sexton attacked Lethal after the match, and the crowd people were chanting "Mo's a bitch" at him, and Mo responded by giving them a sight for the bird watchers. July 2009, NYWC had its first show in Port Jefferson, Long Island, and a match pitting Big Time Rush against Flawless Blake Morris and Hotshot Mike Reed. I forgot if it was Morris or Reed. One of them hit Ryan Rush with the tag team championship belts, and when that happened, somebody in the crowd said, "I gotta get in there," and he almost went over the rail. Tony Berman ended up using the other tag belt, and as a result, Big Time Rush actually won the tag team championship that night. Now, there's so many other incidents I can recall. I mean, I remember when MJF was on the Independents, people were chanting "micro penis" at him. I mean, why would you chant? I mean, the only reason you'd be chanting that, you wouldn't chant that unless you look at the dude's crotch. I mean, there's so many fan trouble over the years. Like, I forgot one here. WrestleMania 20, during the match between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, which we all know was such a shit fest, because both men left the company after that show. There was a guy dressed up as Hulk Hogan in a few rows above me in my section, and rows above him, there's a guy dressed up as Macho Man Randy Savage, and they're about to do the Mega Power Handshake, and the Macho Man cosplayer does this. And before security calmed the situation down, security did calm the situation down. The Hogan cosplayer ripped his shirt off, and I said to the people sitting around me that some people have no life, and they agreed with me. Well, there's more. I mean, other signs that wrestling fans have nothing better to do with their time. I mean, a guy who used to frequent independent wrestling shows with me, he would take wrestling so seriously. He would say he ran Crazy Ivan out of USA Pro Wrestling. He said the promoters were the promoters were the bosses of the fans. He would say that I was booked for a match on a house show. Come on. Maybe it's a good thing he stopped going to wrestling shows with me. I don't know. You know, like I said, it's just too many signs of so many fans who, you know, clearly have too much time on their hands. What else I can give you? Yeah, I mean, you know, there's probably a lot more you folks may have encountered yourselves. So, hope you enjoyed this video, everyone.